Hello and welcome to another live stream. I'm going to talk about a few of the shorts that I've been putting out, the kind of vertical format video. So we cover some of the topics that we work on there, and got a few things in the works. Putting together some chord melody kind of things for all of me, and generally putting together a few podcast episodes on that tune in general. So keep an eye out on that. So I'll begin by talking a little bit about the short that I just put out yesterday, which had this chord voicing. Let's see if I can get you a closer look. All goes to plan here. But this kind of falls under a general concept that I'd recommend following, which is to take basic inversions and work out some different kinds of chord tones for it. So if we have a G, I think I explained on there, we had a G like this, which is kind of like really one of your basic kind of chords, a D7. Up in this position, it's G7, and if you've ever played the ukulele, that would be, a G7 actually, but you would have your strings kind of only run up to the 5th fret on that instrument. So yeah, and this is a really kind of cool way to practice. You can your voicing knowledge, kind of as opposed to working on a whole bunch of memorization. You basically memorize the basic shapes, and then you have sort of a library of alterations to them. If we lower this note on string 3, we get a flat 5 or a sharp 11. Right? And we can also, of course, raise that note. Sharp 5 or flat 13. So I had a lot of questions about this in the last few weeks on naming. So really just sort of a chord out of any, context of tune, it's sort of what's called an inharmonic difference. So it's just what you name it at that point. And just experiment, how far can you go up? Now on guitar, some things are just not real practical. So I'm not even going to try to play this, I don't think, because I'm just barely reaching that. But just knowing that it's there is also a kind of element. But that's where you get kind of some interesting voicing choices, like this note I was trying to reach up here. It's a lot easier to reach, not easy, but easier if you take that root note up a whole step. So you kind of keep the core elements, or the kind of what are oftentimes called shell voicings, and then you try to alter other things, and you can leave out the root, because you could have a rootless chord voicing, and that may have to do with whether or not you're playing with a bass player, or what beat of the measure you're on. Like if you're playing just solo guitar, you might play the root note on beat 1, and if that harmony lasts there for 4 beats or a measure or a couple of beats, then you can step away from the root kind of bound voicings and move into some other things. But this is a big project for folks out there, but take all the inversions and be able to replace the root note with a 9 and the 5 with the 11, sharp 11, flat 13, 13. And also especially for dominant 7th chords, be able to replace the root with a flat 9 as well, and a sharp 9, sharp 9 as well. So yeah, so you can let's say we had get some pretty kind of interesting sounds. Maybe I'll switch back. Right, so if you took this voicing and you played around. Now I will give a little word of caution. If you're playing like chord solo melodies and harmonies and things like that, this can work really well. Oftentimes for comping, you might want to keep the 3rd and the 7th as your lower type voicings, but to be really thorough and create movement in your chord playing, I would highly recommend doing this with all inversions. So yeah, so that's kind of a cool thing. So mix and match, and that's kind of half the fun of it, right? You can have a 9 with a flat 13. So that's kind of cool. But this is the one that I mentioned in the talk there. So welcome your comments. Can I play Smoke on the Water? Yeah, I mean, I can play that. But I'm not generally going to be doing that many requests, but something like that anyway. But yeah, thanks for joining. Apologize about my site. ML, thanks for joining. But sometimes I get, like last Sunday, I got a request for doing what was it? Those famous bebop tunes, and I'm just not going to do that. I'd have to really warm up on that. Hello, Don. Thanks for joining. But yeah, I've followed a bit of Deep Purple, and I'm really kind of interested in Steve Morse and his playing. So I've listened to a few of his interviews, and I wasn't aware of this until all that recently, but he was kind of connected into that that sort of Florida scene back, I guess it would be in the 70s, with Jocko and Pat Metheny. I don't know if they played together or performed together, but I know he was kind of hooked into that world. I have to go back and re-listen to that. Yeah, thanks for the compliment on the guitar. This is kind of my all-arounder. Get my volume going a little bit. So I oftentimes switch between this guitar and the solid body, which is kind of probably directly behind me. But that one has really pretty hot pickups, and this one doesn't. So I'm always kind of trying to adjust. Tom Petty. I didn't know he was from Florida, but I know that he was. I knew that he was there at least at times. But he's from Florida. Okay, that's cool. Dry signal. Yeah, I've got a little delay going on. Let's see if I can. You can kind of hear it a little bit. And I like to turn off the microphone when I kind of generally play on the live streams and stuff, but when I'm talking, going back and forth, it's kind of becomes impractical. But this is what it just sounds like direct. Yeah, so hopefully that's coming through a little bit. I'm always a little cautious about the delay because I don't want it coming through too much and not too little. Actually, I was playing a gig a couple weeks ago, outdoor sort of thing, and I really dialed it in a little too loud, and then sort of mid solo, I'm like trying to turn it down just the right amount. But anyway, the singer really liked it, and she was saying, "Was there echo on there?" And, yeah, there was. Interested in Autumn Leaves? Yeah, Autumn Leaves. I've got some videos on the channel on that. I did an arrangement on that one a ways back. Beautiful tune. Barney Kessel. You know, I've been looking up some Barney Kessel material and thinking about really trying to incorporate some of his playing or arrangements into the videos. But I find it might be a little bit challenging. So I'm trying to balance, sort of an interesting arrangement with something that's not too hard to play on the as far as the chord melody lesson videos. So every time I kind of look at one of his arrangements and or listen to, I kind of feel like, well, maybe that's going to be hard to manage for a lot of folks. So Satriani, yeah, I don't really specialize in that world of music, but I have tremendous amount of respect for him and his playing. But Cry Me a River. Yeah, I'll make a note of that. Or I'll go back and look at the chat. Cry Me a River. Julie Lennon. Cool. So yeah, Satriani, I don't know if this is true or not, but I let me know if you do know. But Kirk Hammett, I believe, took lessons with Satriani and did so like through like the first three albums of Metallica or something. So I thought that was kind of an interesting little bit of trivia. Um, Again, it's probably should be fact checked, but that's what I heard anyways. I thought that was pretty interesting. Um, and Steve Vai, who's really incredible guy as well, also took lessons from Joe Satriani, and yeah, that's so, and his along from, he must know something. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yes, Steve Vai learned from him too. And Steve Vai he's really got some really cool visuals as well as his audio. It's really kind of neat. Like I was watching a video of his, and there's like, I don't know, it must have used green screens or something, but there's like him over here and then him over here, and then kind of disappears here and there, and just really like striking music videos. Very, very kind of cool. And that is a really interesting history with him and Frank Zappa. As the story goes, I believe he was writing out charts and solos and stuff of Frank Zappa and just sending it to Frank Zappa. I think that's the story I know anyway. And ended up, in the band. So that was pretty cool. And I was watching a interview of him on his, I guess, audition with the band, and Frank Zappa was increasingly challenging him and said something like, now play this phrase at a 7/8 reggae feel, and so that's pretty wild. And I think he made his best effort at it, and I think just about walked out and discouraged, and feeling he didn't make it happen. But Frank Zappa said, "You're in, man." So, yeah, definitely quirky. Anybody out there interested in like putting Frank Zappa's, kind of, or and having some influence from Frank Zappa and like kind of making music like that? I find that I am, I like some of the quirky type things, and odd time signatures, and playing around, and all right, everybody. Cool. Yeah. Joel, welcome. Steve Vai with Polyphia. Very cool. I'll have to check that out. Tend to not listen to music with singing. Yeah, I'm the same way. It's interesting kind of what Matheny did with vocals, having voice, but having, not any words, right? So in the last podcast, Tim Henson, I've listened to him a little bit. In the last video, I talked about these finger positions and working at being selective. Oh, hello, sorry, Joel. Oh, I see you jumped in on the. So I'm streaming on vertical mobile and on desktop. So sorry, Joel, if I didn't see you over there. Steve Eyes, yep, team up with Polyphia. Cool. On the agenda today, yeah, kind of just a chill stream. We follow up on some of the shorts. If anybody has any questions or things you've been working on, I can kind of give my take on. I've been putting out a few podcasts on all of me this week. So going over the changes on Monday, and then I did a little chord melody type talk on the podcast the other day, yesterday. Let's see. I'll see if I can get this. Like and subscribe. I should remember to say like and subscribe if you haven't already. And all that. So I'm also just kind of hoping I'm not bombarding folks. I've been really putting out a lot more shorts and stuff like that, doing a little playing on and some kind of mini lessons. All right. Well, I'm gonna maybe noodle around a little bit. Let me know if you have any additional questions or anything. I'll probably hang out for about 10 minutes or something. Okay, so putting together some ideas for the all of me kind of videos, and so I'm at the kind of early stages of putting together a chord melody kind of arrangement for it, and then putting together a video. So I'll play probably a little backing track with that, and then move forward to kind of develop a little bit of chord melody arrangement on that. So all right, everybody. So hope you're enjoying all the things we're putting out. Last week I put out a video on minor blues exercises. To address one of the common issues I find with maybe beginners, intermediates on improvisation is how do you get from scales and arpeggios and stuff like that into playing, So I went over, I think, like 5 little bullet points on doing that. So be sure to check that out. And then I've got a whole series of exercises and at the end of that video. So those are all root position exercises, but I went through different selections. So one thing you can do with your scales and stuff is take an octave. Well, let's say we're in C major here. Take an octave and decide if you're gonna fill it up with 8 notes or 10 notes or 7 notes, and move forward like that. Here's one little kind of hint that you can try. Let's say a C major scale. You can put half steps in between your whole steps. Now the 4 is gonna feel a little bit dissonant, but when you're creating lines, whatever, you can, the context of your line, sometimes it just does work. So, but bebop type scales can be really kind of helpful. 8 notes, so you can hear how it kind of lands there, and that's sort of the gist of that whole concept, which is to practice playing chord tones on strong beats. All right. But there's also a book on that that's available on the channel. I've got a link to that, not in this video, but in the video, minor blues improvisation. So check that out. I think you'll get a lot out of it. It does have the different inversions as well as the root position. So it has basically 3 more sets of exercises that I didn't go into in the video. All right, everybody. Well, I'm gonna call it a day here for today, but thanks for joining. I do appreciate all of your chats today. Thanks for that. And I'll be back on Sunday. I should be back on Sunday. Not necessarily for certain, but in all likelihood. And so check me out there this weekend. But who knows? Depending on the schedule, maybe I'll do Saturday or Sunday. I'm not sure. But keep an eye out for that. All right, everybody. Well, I do hope you have a great practice session today, and thanks for your suggestions and all that. I will see you all in the next one.